Okay, so this is the Mission Fig, and right now it's starting to really pump out some figs, and so I try to pick them when they're just turning color, even though they're a little bit hard, but saves, otherwise the birds will get them. And you just pick them, kind of twist them, and you can put, right now is a bunch of them. It seems like they're really coming in pretty fast. So there's a couple. So then this one's the Cadota, which has the green figs, and they tend to be a little bit larger when they're ripe than the Mission. I don't see that they're coming in just yet, and they're not yet ripe. You can usually tell because they're a little bit more of a lime color, and they're a little bit soft. So these guys are still pretty hard. But you can, if you feel like, you can stand on the chair and go up inside here and check and keep up with them. This one has, it's such a big tree, you'll have to let the birds eat the ones at the top. Try also to just keep the area below them kind of clean. Just you can throw away or compost any that fall, just to keep the ants and other pests away. Okay, so once you pick them, what I do is stage them, so you kind of have to go through, and some of these were picked the day before, and they're nice, just soft, and so those will be the ones we'll want to prepare for drying. Okay, so once you've picked them and out that are nice and soft, so it takes a day or two after you've taken them off the tree, then you want to wash them to get all the dust off them. And then what I do is I cut them, and so I'll cut the bottom off here, and then the top, and then I just quarter them. So I've done that here, and you can see these guys look a little bit kind of moist, and these are going to be quite tasty. So these quartered pieces are the ones that we would dry. Now if you're going to freeze them, you can just probably freeze them whole or freeze them chopped, as you like. Okay, so we're going to use the dehydrator instead of using the solar system, just for convenience, because solar system gets ants and it's kind of a little more involved, but this will work pretty well for bigger volumes of the figs. Okay, so you take it apart. There's these different kind of levels, and just put the figs out sparsely. You can see it's good that we sliced them. They're ready to go. You want to check each one as you cut them. Make sure there's no like little fungusy cores, or sometimes there's an insect in the core. Doesn't happen very often, but once in a while, so it's good. That's why I like to cut them. So you distribute them sparsely. Okay, so I've got them all in there, kind of re-stacked it. It's pretty sparse, but so obviously you could put quite a bit more in there. So now let's put the lid on. Make sure everything is, is nice and kind of well stacked here. And you can look here, it says, fruits and vegetables 135, so set that guy to 135, and then we just plug it in. And then we just want to take a note of when we start, and we'll check it every 12 hours or so and see how it does. Okay, here they are after about 11 hours. They're not totally dry, but I think I don't want to run it overnight, so I'm gonna wait, and then in the morning I'll run it again tomorrow for another, several 8 hours or something, but that way I can check it as we go. Okay, so I ran it for another 12 hours. So these guys have been going for about 20 hours, and they're pretty hard, so they're plenty done. And you might decide you like them a little bit less dry, but somewhere around now they'll be done. And then what I have is I have a little Ziploc 2020 figs, and we'll just put these in the bag, and then a lot of times we just store them in the freezer even though they're so dry, but just to make sure they don't get any mold or anything. But these are very dry, so 20 hours might be a little bit long with at least that many in the dryer. Something to experiment with. But there you go, dried figs. Okay, so here is one thing that could be interesting to do. You see, these are the ripe figs. I've cut them twice, or 90 degrees, but not all the way through, so they open like a little flower. And then I put in a little bit of yogurt, and then just plain yogurt, the Greek one, and then 2 pieces of the rosemary just set on top, so it's not too intense rosemary. We tried this with the honey, a little honey on top as well. That was very nice, but we're going to try it without this time. Okay, so here they are. I did them for 37 minutes. This was on the grill with the pizza stone, which is kind of complicated, but you probably could try like 350 or so for about half an hour, 45 minutes. You can see there, nice and soft, and you get a little bit of the sugary kind of syrup coming out of them. Looks like they're going to be tasty.